published 1730 est, the 20th of November 2017, updated 1755 est, the 20th of November 2017. Nathan Lyons' words are exactly the kind of thing you expect to hear before a ball goes down in an Ashes series, yet it is surprising they came from him. Lyon is not someone you would call outspoken, and usually they would be from one of the quicker bowlers. We got years of Glenn McGrath spouting predictions of 50, not a spinner. Maybe he was trying to deflect from the bad week Australia have had as far as selection has gone. And a few of their ex-cricketers in Allan Border, Warne and Stuart MacGill turning on the selectors. Bowler Nathan Lyon was a surprise choice to kick off Australia's sledging against England. Maybe he was trying to get the heat back on England, but it was an odd thing to say, especially the historical stuff about Matt Prior. Anyone on that tour will tell you that Mitchell Johnson's bowling was incredibly intimidating, and I would not have wanted to be a tailender like James Anderson or Stuart Broad going out there to face him. But the one thing batsmen do not like being called is scared, and Prior was a batsman. I never played with him, but in my years of commentating and occasionally playing against him, not once did I feel he was scared, and visually I didn't see him scared on the tour. In fact, towards the latter stages of it, I was looking at the pitch of Melbourne ahead of the toss, and he came and had a bit of a go at me because had read me in Sportsmail, saying that he should be left out. Lyon may have been trying to take heat off Australia after a poor week as far as selection goes. Was wound up and had an "I'm going to prove you wrong" attitude, as opposed to someone who was desperate to be left out to get the next flight home. So yes, it's an odd fight to pick, but it is part and parcel of what happens in Australia. When you land, you are taking on a nation, and in the media you are always the worst team that's ever toured. Steve Waugh used to call it mental disintegration. He would be part of that, quoting your stats from Gully and telling you what Bob Willis and Ian Botham had been saying about you on telly the night before. Sometimes, when we used to have a drink with their team, once a few beers had been flowing, the Aussies told you what they thought of you. Lyon said Prior wanted to fly home during the last Winter Ashes, but he didn't look scared. Although Prior failed to shine, he looked more like a man set on proving his critics wrong. It used to wind me up a bit, particularly the general comment, "You lot are mentally weak." We had some very strong characters. Michael Atherton, Alex Stewart, Darren Gough and Graham Thorpe were people I would have loved to go into battle with every single time. It was just that Australia were a little bit better than us. Often this kind of episode comes a little bit out of context in an answer to a question. But Lyon appears to have gone off on his own tangent. There is an option to not listen, but I would try to use these words in a similar way to how West Indies did when Colin Graves branded them mediocre a couple of years ago. They pinned the article on the dressing room wall, and I would do the same with what Lyon has had to say, to provide some motivation. Whatever is said, though, for England to be successful they have to win the cricket battle as they did in 2005, and this might backfire on Lyon, because when he comes into bat he is going to get a volley and Broad running in hard at him. England should pin Lyon's words to the dressing room wall and use them as motivation. Lyon has made himself a target for England's fast bowler Stuart Broad, who will run at him. This is also a wake-up call to what England can expect of Test cricket in Australia. It is not like here where your technique is tested, it is an examination of your mental and physical toughness. From when Moeen Ali walks out to bat, through the tail, they will get bombarded with bounces and yorkers. They'd better be ready. What Johnson did 4 years ago was one of the great displays of fast bowling in Ashes history, alongside Dennis Lillee and Jeff Thomson in the 70s. Can the others replicate that? Are Mitchell Starc, Josh Hazlewood and Pat Cummins physically up to performing over 5 Test matches? It remains to be seen. Any cricketer will tell you that Australia is a good place to bat. There is nothing to fear. England must go in without trepidation and looking forward to the challenge. The pitches are so true. The Kookaburra ball does very little after 15 overs and the net facilities are excellent. Lyon says an Ashes tour can be a career-ending one. It can also be a career-defining one.